So when you joined Team 3D, I remember, because I actually knew some of the Team 3D guys at the time, the circumstances were, because they had Steele, who was Canadian, and the World Cyber Games, you have to be all American, they had to get someone. So I remember initially you were coming in as a stand-in, but obviously everyone will know by the story, you ended up joining the team for real. Now, this World Cyber Games tournament, I believe, was one of the ones that was in Korea again, right? Wasn't it in South Korea?
Yes, it was in South Korea on this one.
Okay. Had you ever been to Korea?
No. So this was probably one of the funner trips that we went to. I think no one spoke Korean except for, I think you guys all know Rambo. But the funny part was he spoke broken Korean. So
yes.
Getting around,
I think he still does, to be fair, but yeah.
Yeah. So I think the story behind Korea, if you're asking about Korea, is that I think one time we went all to a restaurant, we tried ordering pizza. Somehow, instead of pepperoni, we got pickles on the pizza. So that was interesting.
So Ronald's Korean definitely not as good as he thought then.
Yeah, so that's all I remember. That's one of the good memory I've had about Korea. I was like, well, they'll serve you pickles on your pizza, so beware.
Okay. So this tournament though had a good placing, because this was another tournament where you finished second place, and the team you finished second place to at this one was that SK Gaming team, which was like Heaton and like the legendary lineup. So. I also, to just jog your memory a second, if you remember, the thing about World Cyber Games was because they were trying to make it like the aesthetic of an Olympics, you actually played like a big stage, and you come in with flags, and if you come second place, it's not just like, oh, cool, here's a check. You get silver medals, right?
Yeah, we do have, I believe, medals from that, and you're right, the stadium atmosphere took it to a whole nother level. I mean, I think it also pales at that time. I think it was, amazing. And if you look at it now versus the competitions you have, for example, like Fortnite or any other the big tournaments like League of Legends, the production value is 10 times higher, right? Sure. But it was at the stage where the first experience where we had that type of play was pretty interesting. Being on the stage and being spectated by people who had no clue what the game is, just casual bystanders coming in, So.
Was it different then? Because here's one of the things I should probably have outlined earlier, is that even though CPLs were massive, like they were some of the biggest tournaments, and they were really important for people to win, they were all still held in like the same area, like you just play in the tournament area, and there might be some people watching, but it's not like a huge crowd. But like ESWC, I know they had like a theater setup, I think, and then WCG, like I said, had a big stage. Like they tried to make it like almost a stadium event. So is it a different? Like, does it feel different as a competitor when you play in that environment? Can you tune it out?
For me, I think competitively, I was able to tune it out. Some other people may not have, but I think, like most competitors out there, if you're very competitive, you can tune anything out, and that's always been like when people ask you, how come you're never nervous on stage? It's kind of like that, where if you practice every day like it's a competition, it doesn't matter where you're at when you're actually having the competition, because you've been playing like that. So,
right. Do you ever follow CS:GO currently at the moment? This is just like a question for to ask you another thing. Do you ever watch it or see any of the tournaments?
So unfortunately, no. I think once I was done with CS, I took a hiatus. So even then, gaming was not a thing for me. I casually game here and there, but I got bored, and I think.
Right, well, here's a piece of info then, because